Hello. The Divine Code reading for March 1st, pages 535 and 536. We are in the chapter Precepts related to spilling semen and contraception. Topic number 3. This prohibition, as the prohibition against spilling semen, only applies to one who spills semen deliberately by his own action or by allowing this to happen, as one who arouses himself through contact with a woman and thereby expels semen. Therefore, it is forbidden for a man to gaze at pornography and allow himself to be aroused by this, because it is very likely this will lead to the spilling of semen. So, if the man is doing this by himself, or if he's doing this with a woman, or as explained here through pornography, which leads a man towards spilling a semen, and therefore the pornography would also be prohibited for this reason. But not in the process of intercourse. Rashi on Tractate Nida 13b said this is considered wasting semen in vain through acts of self-stimulation or physical contact with a partner that causes the spilling of semen. So even one who cohabits inside a woman and then expels semen outside transgresses this sin. Rambam, Laws of Forbidden Sexual Relations, chapter 21. So it's either through his own activity or activity with a woman, and that would even include such as the sin of and Onan, where they pulled out of their wife right at the point of spilling the semen, and spilled the semen on the ground. That would also be physical contact with another person. However, a Gentile man who has intercourse with his wife is not considered to have spilled semen, even if it is definitely will not lead to conception, since this is necessary for the establishment of love between a husband and wife and the preservation of peace in their marriage. Responsa of Rabbi Asher, brought in Beit Yosef Even Ezer, chapter 23, Rima, Bach, and Beit Shemol in Even Ezer, also chapter 23. Marital relations are necessary for the establishment of love between a husband and wife and the preservation of their marriage. See topic 4.2. That marriage is a union that establishes a normal society, even when couples cannot conceive children. Keeping the immediate family ties, the bond of love between husband and wife, is indeed a positive aspect of the marital intercourse that gives the act itself purposefulness. Even if there is no chance of conception, the act is not done wastefully. So, in the case of a husband and wife, their marital relations is considered an important aspect of their marriage, and it brings them closer together and maintains the marriage. And therefore, even if they are unable to have children, either the husband does not have due to some medical concern, does not have the ability to have children, or the wife also would not be able to have children either through medical concerns or through being older in years and through menopause, where she would not be able to have children. Even though they cannot have children through the act itself has purpose for building the marital relationship. and therefore would be permitted. Therefore, it is permitted for a Gentile to cohabit with his wife even if she is unable to give birth, such as postmenopausal or infertile women, since this is the way of marital cohabitation. This permitted cohabitation may take place either through the normal way, that is vaginal intercourse, or the abnormal way, that is anal intercourse, since both are called the way of cohabitation. See below in topic 7. That'll be in 2 days from now. But ejaculation by any other way, such as oral intercourse, constitutes the prohibition of spilling semen. So this is the definitions of proper marital relations would either be through vaginal or anal intercourse with the spouse. Although the vaginal would be more correct, it's considered normal, whereas the anal intercourse would be considered abnormal, and oral intercourse would be considered spilling of semen in vain. That is not proper interaction between a husband and wife. Topic number 4. It has been explained in part 5, chapter 9, that it is forbidden for a man or a woman to undergo elective surgical sterilization, since this is a manner of damaging the body, and as it is explained there, that there are certain permitted means of temporary or permanently suppressing fertility through oral medications that do not actually damage the body physically. This is permitted for Gentile men and women, since it is not the rendering of infertility that is forbidden for Gentiles, but only the infliction of physical damage. So this was explained in the area of the prohibition against murder, and the also which would include the prohibition of causing damage to one's body. And it's understood that surgical sterilization would be damaging to the body, and therefore would be prohibited for that reason. It's an unnecessary medical alteration. And other forms of contraception, chemical contraception, would be permitted. Nevertheless, a man or woman should not use these methods unless there is a great physical need involved, But one who does so for no dire reason abandons the nature of normal way of the world, since God created the reproductive organs for the purpose of conceiving and giving birth to children. Topic number 5. Okay, so just finishing up topic number 4. God created the world to having children. Now, even though there's no mitzvah for non-Jews to have children, but yet to change the normal nature of the world is considered improper, and therefore should only be done so if there's a need to do so. And it doesn't define what the concept of need is, but that would have to be explained further. Topic number 5. A woman who does not wish to become pregnant may do certain actions before relations or afterwards to prevent the conception, the fertilization of the egg. Torah law authorities argue whether a Jewish woman may use a contraceptive method before or after relations, and the opinions there have been gathered in Encyclopedia Talmudica, volume 11, under spilling of seed, and Otzar HaPoskin, volume 9, Ebenezer, chapter 23, part 5. It appears that the entire discussion in the Talmud tractates Kesubah 39 and Yevamot 12 regarding a Jewish woman using contraceptions is only regarding the couple's neglect of the Jewish commandment to be fruitful and multiply. But this is not equal to the prohibition of emitting semen in vain, and as then it would be totally forbidden, even if it would otherwise cause physical discomfort for her. See, Rosh brought in Shulchan Aruch, Ebenezer, chapter 23, that it is forbidden for a husband to expel semen outside after cohabitating, even if the wife has an obstruction that would cause her pain otherwise. The reason that certain contraceptive methods are permitted for Jews is that they allow the act of unobstructed marital cohabitation to still take place, even though it is not possible due to the contraception used for the wife to become impregnated by the semen that her husband emits into her. See Torah Chesed Ebenezer, chapter 44, and parts 21-23, and other opinions brought in Ortz Paskin, chapter 17, part 15. And therefore, many Torah authorities permitted this if it is needed for the sake of a Jewish wife's health. So if there's a reason for the Jewish woman to need contraception for her health, then it is permitted. But it needs to be something that will not cause an obstruction between the husband and wife. The reason that this is not considered wasting semen is explained in Yam Shel Shlomo Yevamot, chapter 1, section 8, that in cohabitation there are two parts, to be fruitful and multiply, and to cohabit as marital relations. Where the latter is being fulfilled, it cannot be said that the action of spilling semen wastefully, although to be fruitful and multiplied, may be negated. So we can learn from this that in the Jewish case, even though there's no chance of having children, the marital relations are still there. They still have the benefits coming from marital relations. In the case of a Jewish woman who uses contraception, and because we see that for in the Jewish law, it can be applied to the non-Jewish law that we don't really have a mitzvah to have children, and therefore that would not be an issue with this. But we do have a need to have proper love between a husband and wife, and if it's permitted for that reason within the Jewish law, then it would also be permitted for that reason within the non-Jewish law. As explained before in chapter 4 above, Gentiles are not obligated to have children if they do not wish to do so, since they are not commanded to be fruitful and multiply. However, once a woman becomes pregnant, it is forbidden for her to have an abortion unless the pregnancy is endangering her life. A woman who willingly submits to an elective abortion, and the one who performs the elective abortion for any other reason, is a murderer of the unborn fetus, as was explained in the section of murder, chapter 1. So so contraception is allowed but not abortion. Abortion is considered the taking of life and would be prohibited. Thank you.